Hi, this is Meghla, and today I'm going to start with the second class of Unit 1 for the third year. And this first class was about the numbers, percentage, and numbers, percentage, and profit and loss. And the second one is now going to be ratios, mixture solutions, and averages and ages. So here, with this, we'll be completing the Unit 1. So the first problem is about the ratios. So just read the problem. 432 rupees is divided among the three workers A, B, C such that A times A's share is equal to 12 times B share, that is equal to 6 times C share. So what you have to do here is first you consider these three persons A, B, C. That is what is given in the problem. Let the shares of A, B, C be small letters. I'm just checking it. And what is given here is the total amount with the three of them is nothing but 432. So the ratios are not given. If the ratios are given directly, we can just go for the calculation of this individual shares. But instead of giving the ratio, they're just comparing the shares. So what is the comparison given is 8 times of A share is equal to 12 times of B share. That is equal to 6 times of C's. Okay. So this is what is given. So from this, you have to find out the ratios. So how to find the ratios from this? So what I can do here is you just consider the values here. All these are equal. So I'm just going to equate this to another value that is nothing but the LCM of the given constants, whatever is here. 8, 12, and 6. So what is LCM of 8, 12, and 6? That's nothing but 24. So just equate this to 24 and individually find out the values now. Now you know that 8A equal to 24, therefore A is equal to 3. 8 into 3 gives you 24. Similarly, 12B equal to 24, therefore B is equal to 2. 6C is equal to 24, therefore C equals 4. So these are the values you have, 3, 2, and 4. And now, the ratios of A is to B is to C, we have found out. That is nothing but 3 is to 2 is to 4. So once you have the ratios, how to find the values? So this ratio box method, which I generally use, is nothing but just take this 3 is to 2 is to 4. Add the three ratios and write it here. 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9. And the total quantity, whichever quantity is given, in case if they're given the C quantity, you have to write it here. But now the total quantity is given as 432. So I'm going to write this 432 here. By writing this 9, which is a ratio, is going to become a quantity as 432 only when you multiply into some multiple. So what is that multiple? So you just have to find out that 432, divide by 9 and see what exactly you're getting it. So this is like 4 times 36, the remaining is 7, 2, that is 8. So therefore the multiple is nothing but 48. So that 48 is the multiple for all the numbers. Okay. So now you can find the value. So 3 into 48 is 144. 2 into 48 is 96. 4 into 48 is 192. That is nothing but double of 96. So we found the values. It's quite easy, right? So the value here is like how much did A get? A's value we have found out here is 144. So the answer is 144. Now let's move to the next question. The monthly income of A and B are in the ratio 4:5. Their expenses are in the ratio 5:6. If A saves rupees 25 per month and B saves rupees 50 per month, what are their respective incomes? So here, the income, generally this is a standard problem where you have some income, expenses given, and the savings given. So normally what we do is income minus expense gives you savings. That's understood. Okay. So now you're going to write for these two values given here. So A and B are the two people, and what is given here is the income part. I'll just write as I. The income of A and B ratio is given as 4:5. And now next is expenses. So expenses, I'm going to write this ratios as 5:6. And now the savings. The savings here is given as 25. This is not the ratio. This is the value given here. These two are the ratios. This is the value. So the very first thing is when you have ratios as well as the values, you know that you cannot combine these two to solve the problem. So either everything should be in the form of a ratio. Even if it is in the form of a ratio, you have to convert that in the form of a values. So as usual, any ratio given, converting this into values is nothing but multiplying this into x. This is another ratio, not the same one. So you can't have the same variable. You have to have a different variable. And now you know that income minus expenses is going to give you the savings. So you can just write this. What is income here? In the case of A, when you consider the income is 4x, expense is given as 5y, and the savings is given as 25. In the case of B, the incomes is 5x and expense is 6y and the saving is 50. So you have two equations, two variables, so it's easy to solve. So just solve this. So what you can solve here is eliminate one of them. I think we can eliminate y here. So to eliminate y here, multiply this first equation into the constant term here, that is 6, and multiply the second equation into the constant term 5. 5. That is, you just can multiply this equation into 6 and this one as 5. And write down the values. This one, the first one, A equation becomes 24x minus 30y equals 150. And the B equation, it will be 5 into 5, 25x minus 30y equals 250. So when you subtract this minus this, I'm going to subtract because here it is larger, the upper one is smaller. So when I subtract this, you know that this 25x minus 24x is x. This will get cancelled, and this is 250 minus 150 is 100. So therefore, x is equal to 100. And now you have to find the income alone. So we don't have to find the y value. In case if it is asked, you can substitute this x value in any one of this equation and find the y value. But here they're not asking for that. You just have to find out the income. So income, if you consider A's income is nothing but 400 because 4x, x is 100, and B's income is 500. That's the answer. So you can go for this answer. We'll go to the next problem now. So now we're going for this mixtures and solutions. So mixtures and solutions, normally you can solve in two different ways, as you would have learned it already. One is directly forming an equation and solving it, or through alligation method. So we'll try to do in both the methods here. So here the ratio of the water and the alcohol in two different containers are given as 2:3 and 4:5. So let me write down the first, the two containers. So container 1, it has water and alcohol in the ratio 2:3. And in the container 2, water and the alcohol is given in the ratio 4:5. So this is what is given here. In what ratio we are required to mix the two mixtures? In order to get the new mixture in which the ratio of alcohol to water is 7:5. You just have to note one thing. Here it is given as water and alcohol, but here they have interchanges alcohol and water. So the first thing is try to change this. So better not to have the confusion. So we will consider this in terms of water to alcohol instead of alcohol to water. Then this has to interchange as 5:7. So we will keep it in that way. So now you have to mix the two. In what ratio you are mixing, we don't know, that you have to find out. So again, converting this in terms of quantity, this is going to be 2x, and this is going to be 3x, and this is going to be 4y, and this is 5y. Once you mix them, the waters will be added. That is, the water part is going to be now 2x plus 4y. And the alcohol part is going to be 3x plus 5y. And that the new ratio of these two is given as 5:7 from the line here given as 5:7 as water is to alcohol. And now that you have this ratio proportion, you can find out the values. You can just multiply product of the mean equals product of extreme. So therefore, this is 7 times of 2x plus 4y equals 5 times of 3x plus 5y. So when you solve this, it's going to be 14x plus 28y equals 15x plus 25y. So bring this y this side. This is going to be 28y minus 25y is equal to 15x minus 14x. So we can say 3y equals x. The minute you bring it in this form as 3y equal to x, you know what to do. That So whatever the numerical value you have, assign for this. Whatever the numerical value you have here, assign for this side. So therefore, this is y is going to be 1 and x is going to be 3. So your ratio of, like you have to just substitute these values to get the ratio of the quantity they are mixing. So what is the content 1 quantity? So you know that water is going to be 2x and alcohol is going to be 3x. So 2x plus 3x is going to give you 5x, and x we have the value as 3. Therefore, this is going to be 15. Similarly, when you go for content 2, that is nothing but 4y plus 5y, which is equal to 9y. 9y is again 9. Or I can say the ratio of these two is nothing but remove the 3 is a common term, so 5 is to 3. That is going to be your answer. You are going to mix the 2 in the ratio 5 is to 3. Now let me go for the alligation method. So when you go for this alligation method, what exactly you're going to do? See, alligation method, as you know that, like you're going to have the cheaper quantity in one side, costlier quantity in the other side, and the middle one is going to be the average of the two. Then take the difference of these two, write it here, difference of these two, you write it here. This is going to be the ratio of the two quantities, whatever the quantity you're writing here, right? So this is a method you're going to apply here. Even for the ratios or even for the mixtures, you can apply the same thing. So usually we take the ratio, but when the mixtures are given, you have to consider the fraction part. So the fraction part, when you take, you have to either consider only one particular variety. Either you have to take only water or you have to take only alcohol. But in either way, whether you take alcohol or water, you are going to get the same answer. There won't be any change in that. So let us consider alcohol part. So now tell me in the first one, like one of this, I cannot say that always this should be cheaper and this should be costlier. We can also interchange. Like one value should be here, the other value should be here, and the middle one should be the average of the two. So we have to consider the container 1 alcohol. What is the proportion of that? Like alcohol in the first container is, it's like 2 is to 3. Therefore, this is going to be 3 part out of the 5 part. So that proportion is what I have to write it here. So 3 out of 5. Alcohol in the first one. In the second one, you consider the alcohol is nothing but 5 out of 9 part. So you can write 5 out of 9 part. And now the mixture, the average or the final resultant is nothing but 7 out of 12 part. So that you have to write here. After writing this, I need to take the difference of these two here and difference of these two here. That is going to give me the ratio of this two content. Like this is the container 1 and this is container 2. Okay. So I am going to get the ratio of these two here. But the thing is, the fraction is so weird, like you can't just take the difference of these two and write and difference of these two and write here. So what you can do is, the easy way is, like you can just consider the LCM of the denominators. So what are the LCMs, what are the values you have? 5, 9 and 12. So what is the LCM of these denominators? Take 3 out, then 5, 3 and 4. I don't think you can take out anything else. So just multiply. This is 20 and this is 9. 9 into 20 is nothing but 180. So when you get 180 as a LCM, multiply all the values into 180. I'm just converting this fractions into integers. That's it. As you know, then ratios, whenever you have, like here, we have 5, 15 and 9. We are writing as 5 to 3, but instead of 5 to 3, if I write 15 and 9, there is no difference. So that means I can multiply these ratios into any value. So here again, I'm doing the same thing. I am going to multiply throughout into 180. So when I multiply this into 180, let me write down here because it's too congested. So 3 by 5 into 180 is 180 by 5 is how much? It's going to be 36. 36 into 3 is 108. So it's going to be 108 here. And here 180 by 9 is 20. 20 into 5 is 100. And now here 180 by 12 is 15. 15 into 7 is 115. No, sorry, 105. So once you write this, take the difference of these two. This is 3. Take the difference of these two. It is 5. So this is the answer. Container 1 and container 2, ratio is 5 is to 3. This is what we have the answer here. So same thing, instead of this alcohol, if you consider about water, then this is going to be like Instead of 3 by 5, it's going to be 2 by 5, and here it's going to be 4 by 9, and this is going to be 5 by 12. Again, you consider the same, your denominator is not changing, so multiply into 180. You will see that you will be getting the same result as 5:3, right? So that's a easy way of doing the problem. With alligation, you can just do it in one step. Next problem. So here you have this alloy A and B has copper and gold in the ratio 2:3 and 4:5. So I'll consider this alloy separately. 1 minute. So let me take this alloy A, alloy B, copper and gold. So copper and gold. So you can see that in alloy A, the copper and gold ratio is given as 2:3. In alloy B, the copper and gold is given in the ratio 4:5. And what is given here is equal quantities of these two are mixed. So ratios very first thing what you have to do is convert these ratios into quantity. So you have to just consider this as 2x and 3x. And this has to be 4y and 5y because you can't have the same multiple. So the quantity here you can say is 5x. The quantity here it is 9y. And it is mentioned that the two quantities are equal. So equate this. So once you equate, you know that equation again, like constant term here you assign for this. Let x be 9 and let y be 5. So when you say that x is 9 and y is 5, then you have to just substitute the values here. So what are the values you're going to substitute? Let me write this one. That is 2x and 3x. You replace this value. 2x is nothing but x is 9. So this is going to be 2 into 9. And this one is going to be 3 into 9. Similarly, what you have here is 4 into 5 because y value is 5 and 5 into 5. So the quantities what you have is 18, 27, 20, 25. And now you know that copper part alone, if you consider, that is when you add these two, you can see what is the value here. You are getting this as 45 and here also is 45. So that means equal quantity you are adding. And now you just take only the copper part. Copper part is nothing but just add these two. It's going to be 18 plus 20 is 38. Similarly, add this gold part. It's going to be 52. 27 plus 25 is 52. So this is going to be your ratio. Again, simplify this. Remove the common term 2. Then 19 is to 26. That is going to be your answer. Okay. Now we'll go to the next one. And now we're going for this average problem. Averages and ages. So the first problem here we're going to see is the average problem. So a pupil's mark were wrongly entered as 83 instead of 63 due to the average marks for the class was increased due to this, the average mark for the class was increased by half the number of people in the class. So you just have to find the number of people in the class. And here we don't know the quantity. So let us consider this number now for time being as n, because we don't know, that is what you have to find out. This n is what you are going to find out. How about the average? Average is also not given here. It is only said that average is increasing by half, but average is not given. So let me assume this average also as A. Okay. And now there are three quantities you are aware of that. That is total, or I can say this is nothing but sum is always equal to average into quantity. So these are the three terms we generally use in the average problem. So when you have assumed this number, the quantity and the average, that means total can be founded as n into A. So what's the total here? Let us write this. We don't know how many quantities are there, but there are some quantities which are added. And given that one of the value is entered as 83 instead of 63. So we are not worried about the other values, but there are some values here. We don't know how many are there, but there is one value which is supposed to be 63, the actual value. And you have many more in this. This sum, when you add all this, is going to be the total sum. And as per the problem, we have the total sum is equal to average into the quantity, AN. Right? But the thing is now, there is one small change has happened here. The change is nothing but this 63 is replaced by 83 by mistake. So you have many more quantities here. We don't know how many are there, but this 63 is increased to 83. So as other values are not changing, so only this is changed. That means your total is also going to increase by that number. So 63 and 83 difference is 20. So it's increased by 20 number. So whatever you have the average earlier you had, when you had 63, I'm sorry, not the average, the total. When the total is nothing but a into n, is now going to increase by another 20 because 20 more are added here. Okay, this is going to be the new total. And also is given that the average is increased by half. So how to find this average? You have this total. So you have an plus 20 as a total divided by the again same n is going to be the new average, which is nothing but a plus 1 by 2. That's all. You have this equation, you can solve for it. So I'll just take out this a n by n plus 20 by n equals a plus 1 by 2. So this will get cancelled. And also, you know, this a and a will get cancelled. So finally, what you have is 20 by n equals 1 by 2. Or we can say n equals 40. This is quite simple. There are different ways to solve this problem. But I can just say that this one, like the logic behind it, you're supposed to understand. I can only tell you the thing, like in the class, I'll again explain about this logic. That is when you have this 20 increase, the change in the quantity as 20, the sum. The sum actually, the change is only 20. Due to this, the average is increased by half. This 20 is distributed to all the quantities equally. That is how we had to assume. So like when half is given to each, that means the total number of quantity you can find out just by taking this 20 divided by half, which is nothing but 40. So this is just a shortcut. It's nothing to do with this problem. So if I say that the half, instead of half, it's increased by 1, then I can just say that the number of quantity is nothing but 20 by 1, which is nothing but 20. If it is increased by 2, then I can say it's 20 by 2. That number of quantities are 10. So this is a shortcut. You don't have to go for all this, but the logic should be very clear. If you're clear with this, with the change, whatever is happening, you can just directly find out what's the quantities. The next problem is the average monthly income of P and Q is 550. The average monthly income of Q and R is 6250, and the average monthly income of P and R is 5200. The monthly income of P is asked. So average is given, you're asked to find the quantity. It's quite easy. So what you can do is just take the data, whatever is given. So given that P plus Q by 2, that is average of the 2 is 5050. So in that, you can just say that P plus Q, when you want to take the sum alone, it's nothing but 5050 into 2. Don't try to multiply this, because normally, unless otherwise it is required, don't multiply, because last minute you can do it. If it is not required, it's a waste of time for you. Next is, you consider the Q and R. So when you know that, you can write it in this form, like 2 times of this average. So same thing for Q and R, I can directly write Q plus R is nothing but 6250 into 2. Similarly, the next two, P plus R is equal to 5200 into 2. So these are the 3 values you have. When you add all the 3, you know that here when you're adding this thing, each one is added twice. So therefore, I can say it is 2 times of P plus Q plus R. And here also, everything is like 2 times. So I can just take out this one. Then I can say 5050 plus 6250 plus 5200. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. And now you have to find the value of P. So what you can do is, when you want the value of P, that means I need to eliminate these 2. So you can just consider this Q plus R, whatever is given here. That equation you can write here, like Q plus R. So what is Q plus R? It is nothing but 2 times of 6250. And subtract this from this. So that means you're going to subtract. So when you subtract this one from this, you will get only. So we get here P, which is equal to, this side you can see that You are going to cancel this part with this one. So the left out now is going to be 5050 plus 5200 minus 6250. So when you add this term, 5000 plus 5000 is going to be 10,000. 200 plus 50 is going to be 250. So this is going to be 10,250. And then subtract this 6,250, which is nothing but 4,000. So your answer is 4,000. Next problem. So the next one is an average problem. We just do this. When my brother, whatever the data is given first, let me see that. My brother is 3 years elder to me. My father was 28 years of age when my sister was born, while my mother was 26 years of age when I was born. If my sister was 4 years of age when my brother was born. So throughout you can see who are all the people there. So we have father, then we have mother, then he has one sister, he has one brother, and the person who is going to explain, I'm considered that person as X. And now do one by one. So when you write the age, the same duration, whatever it is, should be written in a single line. If it is a different time, you have to write it in a different line and then equate it. So here we are going to see my brother is 3 years elder to me. So elder to me, that means when this person was born, the brother was 3 years. He's 3 years elder to him. My father was 28 years of age when my sister was born. So this is nowhere related to this one. So I can't write it in the same line. So I'll write it here. When the sister was born, father was 28. Next sentence says, my mother was 26 of age when I was born. So I was born means when X is 0, mother was 26. So that is what is given here. So you can write on this. And now the next sentence is, if my sister was 4 years of age when my brother was born. So my brother was born, that's not mentioned here. Let me take here. My brother was born, sister was 4 years of age. That means the difference of their age is 4. So we can just say that after 3 years, that is when the brother is 3 years old, sister will be 7 years old. And also is given that when sister was born, father was 28. So after 7 years. So after 7 years, it's going to be 35. You can take the other way also. The difference of sister and father is 28. So when she was 7 years old, father will be 7 plus 28. That is 35. So we just got this one. So next, what is asked is, what is the age of my father when my brother was born? So we need to bring this one now here. When the brother was born, you know that a father's age is 35 when brother was 3 years old. So 3 years before, brother is 0. When 3 years before, father will be 35 minus 3 is nothing but 32. So that is what is the age when the brother was born. So the answer is 32. With this, I'm completing this class. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next class.